Welcome back to BLOCKTV. You're watching Crypto Crunch. My name is Zachy Hennessy, and I was, very probably, wrong when on October 28th, I called the blockchain-based Battle-Royale shooter Lightnite a scam, and I said, if you buy into it, you are a moron. These are very hurtful things that were much too aggressive, and to make up for my mistake, I've invited both Federico Spitaleri, co-founder and CMO of Satoshi's Games, as well as Carlos Roldan, the founder of Satoshi's Games. They're the team behind Lightnite to come on. They're going to talk to me about the game and explain why I should give it a chance. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
So before we get too deep into the interview, let's start at the very beginning. Explain to me, what is Lightnite and what inspired its creation?
Okay, so basically Lightnite is a battle royale game, and it integrates Bitcoin for like the users that want to experiment with this new technology as an optional feature, and basically it allows people to earn Bitcoin within the game by shooting opponents, by collecting valuable items on the ground and selling them on the shop. So this is the main thing of Lightnite.
Mm-hmm. So explain to me a little bit more about how Bitcoin works its way into the gameplay. Let's say, for example, that I'm extremely bad at shooters, which may or may not be true. How is that going to impact my experience with the game?
Yeah, so the Bitcoin experience comes always, it comes by default because gamers in games, they are very used to use digital assets and digital currencies while playing games. Here, we are taking that by granted. The only difference is like they're interacting with these game assets and the actual score in the format of Bitcoin. However, they cannot actually find out that they are actually experimenting with Bitcoin if they don't go to the advanced settings and they enable them, and then they can actually find out, they can withdraw their balance. So the actual differences, one of the many differences is like, as a Battle Royale, you can buy a skin, you can customize your experience, you can have a season pass where it comes with missions and more in-game assets. But as well as you can buy those, you can sell those assets. And as well as you can sell those assets, you can withdraw the funds and the profits using Lightning.
Mm-hmm. So do you see a game like this where how well you play literally translates to earning financial currency? Do you see that, I don't know, developing into theoretically down the road some kind of more elaborate esports opportunity, or have you considered this kind of situation?
Yeah, actually, we're already running tournaments like esports in collaboration with other companies, so that the users can actually play the games as esports and with Bitcoin for it. It's something we are doing with our product that are already developed and live for everyone. But it's something that we can surely do with Lightnite too. We did it with Satoshi's Games, and there's actually a competition already running on Twitter with in collaboration with Trezor, the producers of the Bitcoin hardware wallet, and people are competing between each other, and the best player is gonna win almost 3 million Satoshis.
Wow. Okay. So a large reason behind creating the game, as I understand it, is to advertise the idea of the Lightning Network and its existence, right? Some sources are suggesting that the Lightning Network may be on a downtrend at the moment, as shown by the gradual decline of available channels in the network over the past 6 months. So what does this kind of movement mean for a game like Lightnite?
So basically, the game was not necessarily done to advertise Lightning integration. The actual Lightning integration allows us to create a game where every digital interaction can be in a liquid way experimented. So we wanted to use an asset that can be extracted out of the game, because if you use an asset like, I don't know, in Fortnite, you have the big box, or you have your Steam balance in any other game that comes with the Steam, and you can do such trade operations. However, it's not fair for all of the gamers. Let's say that I buy an asset and that asset costs 0.001 cent, that costs $10, that I cannot actually withdraw my funds from the game. That's one of the main purposes of having Lightning integrated, because Lightning brings this adoption level. But it's not only that; is that it also creates a bigger scenario for esports, because you have a way more incentive to play in a competitive mode when you have a Bitcoin that you can extract and as an incentive, as well as your rank, the who wins and who lost. And the actual channels and the actual Lightning statistics, at the moment, I think they are pushing hard on how games are going to be experimented during the next years, especially because now, due to the current statistics of how Lightning is going and how it's adopted, we see recently news from Bitfinex implementing Lightning with deposits and withdrawals. We see so many adoption coming around, and the gaming industry has so much to profit for using Lightning into the games.
Mm-hmm. And in regards to using an actual legitimate liquid asset in your marketplace, in your in-game marketplace, in order to purchase assets, talk to me a little bit about the assets that will be available. Are they going to be something that's purely cosmetic, or will they influence gameplay?
So no assets will influence the actual gameplay at all. They can customize your look and feel. So you can have cosmetics that when you have a helmet, if you have the skin of a unicorn helmet, that's what the users from outside, they can see that when they see your helmet.
Okay.
Those assets, at the moment, we're looking into ways for creating a more complexity within the assets nature. At the moment, we are focusing on Bitcoin only, and we are creating all of the infrastructure around Bitcoin. So we are not trying to mix using other technology. So yeah, all of the assets, they will come in different season passes, and there are some different supplies for assets. So you may find skins and cosmetics that they came with a limited supply, a very reduced supply, and others that they come with an unlimited supply. As well, I also have to stand out that for the assets is interesting because there are different game modes where you can play ranked or you can play casual, and those modes affect directly, as well as the ownership of some assets, as well as the way users interact with those assets within the game.
Okay. So, we spoke just a moment ago about the potential esports viability of this game. That's something that may potentially lead to what many blockchain game developers have been referring to mainstream adoption, rather. So, many developers have been referring to this idea of mainstream adoption. They're suggesting that blockchain gaming is picking up speed, and someday we'll make it there to mainstream adoption. So, my question for you is, what does that term mean to you, and do you agree that it's on its way?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a very important topic because mass adoptions means like having like millions of players on your game, and actually we saw delivering this purpose, and we saw that when the Ethereum network crashed because of CryptoKitties, we saw that with some airdrops a few weeks ago on the EOS network that increased the fees so much and made the network basically a new school. And that one of the main reasons why we are using Lightning is that Lightning technology actually allows the model to scale to millions of transactions per second. So this is a reason why we are using Bitcoin and we are using Lightning Network, because technically we can scale to millions of users for real.
Mm-hmm. And so how will you know when you've made it to mainstream adoption? What's the metric by which you're able to measure that?
I think you should have a look at the competition in the more general gaming space and see the most popular games. How many users do they have? How many purchases they make in the game? And if you can reach the same level of adoption of user base, then I think you made it to be mass adopted.
Okay, sure. Makes perfect sense. So let me ask you this. What's in the future for Lightnite, and when can we all expect to play it?
So yeah, recently we've been announcing the pre-sale where you can buy the game, We've been planning to release pretty early, still, even though the game actual official date is not coming until 2021, until January 2021, as expected. However, we are starting to release the first single players early accesses during the next month of January 2020.
Okay.
As well as this, during March and February, we're going to release the multiplayer, and the official early access is not until April, May 2020, where we are slowly giving access to users based on the first purchase and order the game. They will be slowly having access to the game according to the priority of order in the list. Then after updating, polishing, after having a more polished version of the game with a more artistic design, a more complete Bitcoin metagame, then we will release the beta by December 2020, November, December 2020. And then after that, after a few months in beta, then we'll actually release in January, February 2021, the official game, which will be available for as many systems as possible. We are aiming to do as well with consoles such as Xbox and PlayStation, and then we're also releasing on mobile too.
Okay. Well, listen, I wish you the best of luck. That's all the time that we have for now, but I thank you once again for coming on and giving me a chance to give the game a chance. To all those watching, what do you think? Is Lightnite going on your buy list? Let me know on Twitter. I'm Zachy Hennessy, and you are watching BLOCKTV.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.